Good Vach, my friends. Today we're learning Bobe Basra Daf Pei Dalid. We're going to start Pei Gimel on the base just after the Mishnah. Says the Gemara, Omer of Chizda Mocha Lo Yisho Bechomesh Besheish. If Reuben sold Shimon something worth 5 and he sold it worth 6, so it's over a 6 more than the price. The Hukar, now the price went up. The Omad al Shmoyne, now the price went up from 5 to 8. Minisano, who's the one who paid overpriced? Loikech, the buyer. Loikech, yochel achzor boi. Loikech could change his mind and could cancel the mechira because it was here. He bought something for 6 that was only worth 5 at the time. But the buyer, the seller can't be choizer from this deal, even though that now it's worth 8. Mishum de Omale, the buyer tells the seller, if you never sold it to me for a high price, you sold it to me for the actual value for 5. You couldn't change your mind now that the price went up to 8. Now that you cheated me and you sold it to me for 6, you could change your mind. Do you think you could change your mind? Bit me for sure not. And I'll bring you a Aryeh from our Mishnah, your voice, if the seller said it's nice wheat, v'nimtzu rois, and if they were found to be bad, it says only the loikeach yochol lachzor bo, but loy moicha, not the moicha, and it's mashma in any case, even if the price went up later for the bad wheat. So we can see that when you cheat, you can't change your mind, even if the price went up afterwards. V'omar of Chizda, similar case, mocha lo yishov sheish b'chomesh, the buyer, the seller sold in something worth 6 for 5. V'uzlu, and the price went down. V'omdu al gimel, and now they're only worth 3. Minisano, who was cheated at the time? Moicha, the moicha who sold it for too cheap. Moicha yochel achzor bo, therefore only the seller could change his mind. V'lo loikeach the omalei, the buyer could tell the seller. The seller could tell the buyer. If you didn't pay me too little, 5 for something that's worth 6, now that I went down to 3, if you buy it for the right price, you couldn't change your mind. Now that I went down and it's only worth 3, you could change your mind? For sure not. And I'll bring you a Aryeh from our Mishnah, Rois, if he said it's selling in bad ones, v'nimtzu yofois, and it was found out to be good wheat, moicha yochol lachzor bo, v'lo loikeach, who could change his mind? Only the moicha, not the loikeach, because he got the wrong end of the deal. And it doesn't say any difference in the Mishnah if the price went down or not. So we could see that even though that later on he wants to change his mind because of the difference in price, he can't. It says in more Ma'ikomash Malon, what's the Chiddush from the Mishnah? What's the Chiddush of Rav Chizda? Masnisini. It's our Mishnah. We always say V'tanatun, Aryeh from our Mishnah. So what's the Chiddush of the Rav Chizda saying? It says the Gemara, no. If you'd only have the Mishnah, maybe in the case of the Mishnah, only one of them could be choizer because it wasn't what he sold. But in the case of Rav Chizda, where the price was wrong, so maybe the sale didn't go through, therefore, Tavari Moti Adrubu, maybe they could both choizer. But comes Rav Chizda and says only one of them could be choizer. And the Mishnah is only coming to tell us the lokech yochol achzor bo. This al kedai techamina aimu, I might have thought mishum dechsiv. It says in the pasuk that there is a thing that whenever someone buys something, the buyer always says, yeah, it's not good value. The car is selling me, it has lots of miles on, it's not good. Then he tries putting down the price. So therefore, if someone said it's nice ones and it was really bad ones, he can't change his mind. Kumash Malon, the Mishnah, they can. But in the case of the Chizda, if you'd only have the Mishnah, you'd think they both could be choizer, and that's the Chiddush, only one could be choizer. Said the Mishnah, Shachamtis, if he said it's red wheat, V'nimtzis levona, and we found that was white wheat, Omar Papa Midichtoni levona, since it says that he said it was Shachamtis and it was found to be white, Shma minu shimsha, when it says Shachamtis, that's the lotion of Shemesh, is mashma that Shachamtis umkosi, that the color of the sun is red and not white. Teda, and I'll bring you right to this, the Kosam Kotzafer of Panya, that in the rise of the sun and the sun, and in the sun, in the Shkia, it's red, so we can see that really the sun's red. And the reason why middle of the day looks like white and not red, because it's so bright you can't see the proper color. Meisive, it says in Gemara Kasha, it says in the Brisa, it says in the Pasuk, Umareu omok min ha'aretz, umar teneged toras, that it's deeper than the sun. And we learn Kimare Chama Amukum in Etzel, and it says in the Brisa, like the sun looks deeper than the shade. Also over there by Negoim Lovon, who it's white, and we say it's like the sun, so we can see the sun's white, nor red. So the Gemara Kimare Chama Veloy Kimare Chama. When we said it's like the sun, we don't mean literally the same color of the sun. We mean Kimare Chama Damukum in Etzel. In one condition, it's like the sun, that it's deeper, the sun is deeper than the shade. But in the other thing, it's not like sun white, the ilu also lovon, by the negoim it's white, the hocha, and the sun is odom. Said the Gemara, that the sun is white, how could you ever have such a havamina in the shkia and in the sunrise it's red? Said the Gemara, but Tafra, the reason, if we would think that the sun is really white, you know why in the morning it's red? The Chalfa, Bevardi the Gan Eden, it has a reflection from the red roses in Gan Eden. Bepanya, in the evening, the Chalfa, Pitcha the Gehenim, because the sun goes past the Petach of Gehenim, that's why it reflects red, but really it's white. The Ikidamri Ibchan, some people say the opposite, in the morning it goes past Gehenim, and at night it has the reflection of the roses from Gan Eden. It said in the Mishnah, if he said I'm selling wine and really it was vinegar, they both could change their mind. Our Mishnah Rebbe only fits in Rebbe, and there's no fit in Rabbanon. The Tanya we learned in the Brisa says like Gemara Daladom Beis, Yain v'choymetz ninechod. Yain and vinegar is one type of food. Rebbe Yomer Shnei Minim, they consider 2 minim, and it's Omar Legabe Truma, that if you gave Truma on Yain for choymetz or choymetz and wine, Rabbanon say it's okay, and Rebbe said it's not okay. So we could see our Mishnah who says that Yain and choymetz are 2 minim, are like Rebbe and not like Rabbanon. Says the Gemara, no, I feel to tame Rabbanon. Ad can we play Rabbanon lady Rebbe. The whole machloikus of Rabbanon Rebbe over there. Elolin in Maisa with Truma, could the Rabbi Loy, the only a din in Maisa and Truma like Rabbi Loy, Doma Rabbi Loy. Minayin the Torah Minaro, Layofish Truma, so Truma. How do we know that if you give from bad apples on good apples, that Truma is good, that Truma is chal, Shenema, because it says, Veloy tisu olav chet barimechem es chal boy mimenu. That you won't have a punishment, you won't do a avera if you give the best to Truma. Imeinu Kodesh, that means if when you give the bad on the good, it's not Kodesh. Why will you get punishment? The Truma is not Chal. Elamai, we can see that your Truma is Chal. Mikan, from here, said Rabbi Loy, the term in Aryeh Yofa, that if you give bad apples and good apples, Truma, so Truma, but you over avera. So that's a whole machloikis between Rebbe and Rabbanon about Truma. Do we learn like Rabbi Lo or not? That if you give the bad one on the good one, is echal. When it comes to business, the kula alma, everyone agree that some people prefer wine, and they don't want vinegar. And some people want vinegar, and therefore, if you said you're selling vinegar and it was really wine or the opposite, the sale is not a good sale because maybe the buyer or the seller did not mean to sell or buy that. Says the Mishnah, someone who sells fruit to his friend, Moshach veloy modad, if he did Meshicha, but he didn't measure the amount. Kono, he is koina because he did a kinyan, and afterwards we measure and we calculate how much he owes him. Modad veloy Moshach, if he measured the amount, veloy Moshach, but he didn't do a kinyan, loy kono, he didn't do a kinyan, and therefore they both could change their mind. Imoyo pikeach, if the buyer was a pikeach and he wants that the moichet could not change his mind, soiches mekoimam, he rents a place where the apples or wherever the pears are, and therefore he's koinet straight away bikinin chotza. Aloikeach pishton mechavero is someone who buys flax from his friend. Arei lo ikono, he's not koina achit altenu mimoko nemoko, because pishton is no to make in small bundles, and therefore you could pick them up, and therefore you have to do agbar, not meshicha. If the flax was connected to the ground, the kolas kolshu, and he took out the ground any amount, he's koina everything, and the Gemara is going to explain what this end of the Mishnah means. Omar Abasi, Omar Rabbi Yochanan. So now this whole sugya is all talking about kinyonim. What kinyonim work and where, because the Mishnah was very vague about where the kinyonim were happened, which kinyonim can you do and which kinyonim can't you do. Said the Gemara, Omar Abasi, Omar Rabbi Yochanan. Modad, someone who measured v'niach al gabi simta, and he put it on the simta, and the simta is a place where it's not Rosh Hashanah, where lots of people go and you're not allowed to put stuff down. Simta is like a small street. Kono yokoino. So this is what Rav Asi said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. It's not clear what kinyan he did. So Omalei Rav Zera, Rav Zera told Rav Asi, Shemaloi Shomal Rebbe. Maybe he didn't hear clearly what Rabbi Yochanan said, and it's talking about Elo b'moeded l'toch kuposo. It's somehow where he measured it and he put it in the simta, in his basket, and that's why he's koined, because of chotza of his basket. Omalei, so Rav Asi told Rav Zera, Domi ahayme Rabbanon, you are like the one for Rabbanon, kedeloi gamri inche shmaitu, they learn properly. Modad l'toch kuposo. If it's talking about, if Rabbi Yochanan was talking about where he measured and he put it in his basket, meimer boy, do you need Rabbi Yochanan to tell you? Obviously you're koine if you put it in your basket. No, Rabbi Yochanan was talking about even if you didn't put it in your basket, just being measuring and putting in the simta, you're koine. Ask the Gemara, kibla minei or loy kibla minei? Did Rabbi Zera accept from Rav Asi what Rav Asi said or not? Toshma Kama, listen, the Omar Rav Yanai, Omar Rebbe. Rav Yanai said in the name of Rebbe, Chotza Shutfim, Chotza that belongs to two people, koinim zemezeh. They could do a kinyan one from each other. My lav al gabe karka. If they're not talking about on the ground, and that's like a simta because it belongs for both of them to use. So we could see that even not in the kelim you're koina. So the more it's talking about letoich kuposo, and that's why you're koina in chotza shukfim and also in a simta. But if it's on letoich kuposo, you're not koina. Ochinami mistaber, I'll bring you a raya, the Omar Rav Yaakov. Omar Rabbi Yochanan, Rav Yaakov said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, modad v'niach al gabe simta. If someone measured and put it in the simta loikona, and it kashin adodi, it's a stir to what we said before in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, that you are koina elolav, it must be shmamino kan b'moeded l'toch kuposo. In the first name of Rabbi Yochanan, where he says that your koina means where you put it in your basket. Canway said you're not koina b'moeded al gabe karka because there's no way to do a kinyan over there, and therefore we could see that Rav Zera did not accept this din, and he holds that Rabbi Yochanan only said that you're koina b'simta if you put it in your basket. Shmami no. Toshma, we're trying to bring a right to what we're speaking about. Modad, it said in the Mishnah, he measured, v'loi moshach, and din the mishicha loi kono. My lava, we're not talking about besimta, that he tried doing this in the simta, and we could see that if you don't put it in your kelim, you're not koina, and therefore it's a kash on what Rav Asi said before. So then we're loi b'rishus rabim. The Mishnah is talking about we modad v'loi moshach in rishus rabim, and that's why you're not koina when you put it on the floor. But if you put it on the floor in the simta, you are koina like Rav Asi said. Telling more Yochi, if so, that's talking about the Mishnah, talking about Rosh Hashanah. Eimer let's look at the Reisha of the Mishnah. Moshach, he did Meshicha v'loi modad, and he did measure. Kona, you are koina. Meshicha b'Rosh Hashanah mikanya is. How could it be that someone Rosh Hashanah Meshicha is not koina in Rosh Hashanah? V'Abaye v'Rava, they both say the Amrit Avayu Mesira koina b'Rosh Hashanah. What's koina in Rosh Hashanah is giving it over one to each other. V'Chotza she'ina shel shneim, and a chotza that does not belong to them. Meshicha, and Meshicha is koina b'simto v'Chotza shel shneim, and Meshicha is koina in a place. Pulling it is koina in a meshicha in a simta, or in a chotza that belongs to both of them. Vagba, picking it up, koina b'chol mokim, in every place, even Rosh Hashanah, even simta, even the chotza of one of them. So we could see l'charei can't be talking about Rosh Hashanah, because if the Mishnah is talking about Rosh Hashanah, how does meshicha work? So the Gemara, my moshach, when it's really the Mishnah is talking about yes Rosh Hashanah, how does the meshicha work? My moshach and amidiktoni, it means Rosh Hashanah the simta, they pulled it from Rosh Hashanah to the simta. Simta ended up in a simta. That's why you're koina, and that's why and enochanam in Rosh Hashanah you're not koina, and therefore the Mishnah fits in to say that it's on Rosh Hashanah. So the Gemara, yochi, let's look at the sefer in the Mishnah. Imo yopikeach, if the buyer was a clever man, he rents a space. If our Mishnah is talking about Rosh Hashanah, Miman Ogar, how could you rent Rosh Hashanah? It doesn't belong to anyone, it belongs to everyone. So the Gemara, Ochikama, this is Pshat, this is a new separate thing in the Mishnah. If the sale is happening in the Rishus of the Moicha, if the buyer is a Pikeach, he rents from the Moicha the space, and then he's koine it bikine chotza because it becomes his chotza. The Reish of the Mishnah was talking about in Rishus Rabim, and therefore you don't have no raya to our subject. Thank you very much. We should have a blessed, happy, very good week.